You got me talking, and I didn't pay attention.
I'm so sorry. Didn't realize I was that interesting.
Oh man! All right,
There we go.
let's move over to. There we go.
Watch Dice Junkies Live. I am watching Dice Junkies Live. I'm on Dice Junkies Live.
All right, well, let's get started. Obviously, as people can see, this week it's me, Xeno, and oops, that away on Skype.
We have Bloodaxe.
yeah. Q had to take care of some personal business, so he is out today. So it's just me and Blood. Let's get started, man. Man, it sort of sucks with talking about Cyberpunk without being able to pick on Q.
Yeah, and I actually ended up my oldest son. I bought him Cyberpunk for Christmas when it came out because that's what he wanted, and he let me play it. And he took it with him when he moved out. So I'm like, crap. So I went and actually bought another copy of Cyberpunk. I got the steel case edition. And I need to see if my game will transfer over for the DLC next year. But I may play through it again because of the special ending where, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but if you do right certain choices during the campaign with Johnny Silverhand, there's a opportunity for you to choose who to call and which method you want to go raid the tower.
Yeah, I think there's four. There's four different endings. Three of them are obviously specific, I think, to your
factions.
And then and they're also specific to who you were dating. So there's a few different things of, but yeah, and then there's one hidden. So.
Right, and that's the one I didn't get a chance to do, which really disappointed me because it's you and Johnny, and you just go balls to the wall by yourself with no help. It's supposed to be really hard, and it's a one-shot, is my understanding from what Q has said, but I want to try to go back and do that. But it was a fun game. I didn't have the problems you guys did, but I was playing on that.
I didn't have many problems. I was playing on a computer. I had some graphical issues, but generally speaking, I didn't have the problems that most people claim to have had. Now, Q apparently had a lot of problems. He was running a little lower quality hardware, though, so. But yeah, so anyway, the reason we were talking about this is because supposedly Cyberpunk 2077 has a sequel in that's pre-production. It says won't begin until 2023. So, I mean, they are talking about a prequel already, or a sequel already. Bloodaxe messed me up earlier.
Yeah.
Sequel and pre-production definitely can twist the mind there. But yeah, sequel.
I was dyslexic with the sequel pre-production.
But the pre-production phase of development for the sequel by 2023. So, this was something I was actually worried about. I like Cyberpunk. I like the concept. I've always liked the style, the genre, and I really thought because of how bad of a release Cyberpunk got, they were not going to probably end up doing a sequel. They would end up falling away from it. But it seems like it's still being talked about as of right now. They do seem to want to continue that, so I'm sort of happy for that. Obviously, we all hope that they did learn from their mistakes, do a little better quality control on the next release. And but I mean, I'll be honest, I've played most of the Witcher games. They haven't had the best quality on release date either. So I mean, but if you make the game good enough, I think people will forget it. I mean, Bethesda's notorious for releasing buggy releases as well, but we still play all their games.
So is Gearbox and Coalition, but I don't think any of them had the problems that Cyberpunk did. And it was one of these games that, we were all talking about and excited for. And with the massive amount of problems, they probably could have, continued developing for another year, but they kept pushing it back so much they had to get it out eventually.
See, to me, the problems weren't as big of an issue. Like you said, you didn't have any problems. I think the missed promises were more of an issue. Like the world wasn't as in depth as they had made out it was going to be. The world was missing a lot of elements, I thought, and still fun. I enjoyed the game, but it could have been so much more.
Especially, they would have had multiplayer. Then that would have made it even better. And I don't know if using the same engine and development they have on the first one to basically repolish it with a new game on top of what they've already done to fix everything, but continuing in the same vein but with better ending choices, I think would be a blast. I didn't care for some of the you have to be this gender for these romance choices. Like in other games, everybody's bi. So, you can romance anyone as male or female if they're male or female. And the fact that there was, things that were stuck and you couldn't romance certain characters was a disappointment, in my opinion.
Mm.
But, I mean, I had a blast playing it.
Yeah, it is nice that when it follows the user's choice and not... but also at the same time, I guess it does give some... I guess more concrete personality to those characters versus the more the bendable personalities. So
I get it. I think their intention was to create more playthrough opportunities, but I'm doing it once. I didn't really see doing it again as a different gender. That doesn't just. It's not something I'm interested in.
Yeah. And I did actually play it as a male character and as a female character. So.
Yeah, because the whole scene with Rogue and Johnny at the drive-in would have been weird as a female character, I guess. But.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
I didn't think about those, but yeah, they were. Even though I was playing I guess here's the thing. I mean, when I'm playing a female character, I'm playing a female model. I'm still a male behind it, so I guess I didn't really think about it that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's something that depending on the release and how it's received, I'll probably get. But I don't know if it's one of those games where I'm going to break my, don't pre-buy rule because we've been burned on so many games by pre-purchasing early. But it is something that I'll definitely keep an eye on once, development comes out, in 2026, whenever they finish the game.
Yeah.
So.
Well, while we're talking about CD Projekt Red, I mean, they seem to have a lot of things in the fire right now. They also have the Witcher remake coming, which they're planning on starting after The Witcher 4. And so the Witcher remake will be using the same technology engine-wise and all that as Witcher 4. So that means they're going to take that first Witcher and bring it up to the current gen. Now, it does sound like they're going to do a decent amount of modification on the Witcher remake. So if you're looking at The Witcher and going, oh, they're going to redo it. Well, I don't know how much they're going to redo it as it is a remake. So there might be a lot of changes. One of the things, I mean, there's going to have to be because they're talking about it being open world. And so that's going to have to drastically change a lot of the progression of the game as it is. So I don't know how well the fans of the original will take this. I'll be honest, I didn't like the controls, the system mechanics of the original Witcher, and it played very clunky on PC. So I ended up never really fully playing it. I played a little bit of it. I was like, as far as gaming mechanics go, it sucked. I was like, man, but the story's really good. So I ended up just watching the story of the first game instead of playing it because it was just too rough for me to play. I just could not get along with their mechanics.
Yeah, and I never played the Witcher games. It's just something that I just never picked up. But anything open world really sounds like something that kind of always piques my interest. Some games being linear, I don't mind. Like Gears of War is mostly linear, but it's also an action shooter. So I don't know. Uh, we'll see when it comes out, but I don't have a lot of invested interest in the Witcher series. I know Mrs. Bloodaxe watched the Netflix series and she really enjoyed it. But it's a game that I'm aware of, but I've never actually taken the time to play or research.
I mean, at some point, I've got to read the books, because it's all based off the Witcher books, which I hear the game is significantly variant from the books, but the and the TV series is supposedly, I think, a little closer to the books. And I did enjoy the TV series as well. It was really good. I've watched the first couple of seasons there and really enjoyed it. I hate to see that we're losing Henry Cavill from the series because I thought he did a really good job of portraying Geralt.
Yeah, he's a really good actor, and the fact that he's a gamer like us, playing tabletop and playing video games, just gives him that extra layer of, hey, he's one of us. So we kind of can identify with him and enjoy his performances on screen. And it is very unfortunate that he won't be renewing Geralt on the next Witcher series. So there's been a lot of backlash about that that I'm aware of. I know my wife will not watch the second series because she really enjoyed his performance in that first season. So,
well, I mean, I think he's in what, season 1, season 2.
Oh, there's 2 seasons. Okay, I wasn't even aware of that.
I thought there was 2. Because I think he's going to be in the next whatever the next season is. I think it's 3. And so he's in 3, and then they'll replace him in 4.
Okay. Wow, I didn't realize there was that many seasons. That's pretty cool. Again, it's not something that I've invested a lot of time in.
Yeah. All right. So, still on the video game bandwagon. We can move on to a game we've been talking about for a while now. It is finally hit, I think, Steam, and man, it's gotten some bad reviews. Apparently, on PC, it has major stuttering issues, and that is the Callisto Protocol. I think the couple of times we've talked about this game on the show, Bloodaxe was not actually here. It was on times where he was out. But since we had talked about it several times, I thought I would bring this up.
Yeah, as I remember, because when we were talking before the show about the topics, I'm like, "What's this game?" I'm not familiar with this game, and I'm sorry if I got distracted 2 topics ago when you actually first started talking about The Witcher. On the TV, it had this weird sci-fi cinematic. I'm like, "What movie is this?" It was a commercial for the Callisto Protocol.
Oh, really?
movie, it looked like, oh God, I want to go watch this movie. Oh, it's not a movie, it's a game. Wow, I want to play this game. It looks sci-fi. There's aliens or some other kind of things going on. I'm like, that looks fun. And I'm disappointed that the reviews have been so poor.
Well, and
But
you're on Xbox, so you won't have this issue. It was specifically the PC release of it. Apparently,
okay.
the Unreal Engine is notorious for PC porting, moving over to PC. This stuttering issue, several other games have had it as well. Apparently, they've already released a patch for it that sort of fixes it, but apparently doesn't fix it all the way. Fixes it in the menu, and apparently it came down to as the one of the developers put it, a freaking era. So yeah, apparently there was a patch that came out right near the end, right before it got pushed out, and this freaking era got in there and caused this stuttering, and so they're working on it. And like I said, they've already released a patch almost immediately to fix it. But sadly, it was already after many people who pre-ordered it or bought it day one had already threw up reviews, dropping the reviews to like a 51% on Steam.
Gotcha. Yeah, so, I may actually give it a go because again, just from what I've seen so far, and it's something that you and Q have been interested in, but talking about it on the show in the past. It looks like something I would probably enjoy. I'm imagining it's also solo play. It's not co-op, which is disappointing because I enjoy playing games with my friends. But it does look like it would be something I would be interested in. Just the sci-fi, the space dynamic. It definitely looked like something that I would want to pick up and play.
Yeah. No, that was the thing. It looked really cool, and it's something that I will probably also pick up, but probably not yet. Being, for one, I'm going to pick it up on PC, so I want to wait until it has gotten smoothed out.
Right.
But no, dude. I mean, I like the Dead Space games. Of course, they say this is more than just another Dead Space, which is cool. But I mean, that dark feel. I've always enjoyed those types of action games, so I will definitely eventually check it out. Like I said, action isn't really my my main forte when I play video games. I'm more of an RPG gamer, so it's something that I'm not probably willing to drop $60 or $70 right away on now.
Right. Yeah, and I'll wait for it to go on sale too, because we're in a state now that either we're buying it day one because it's a franchise that is meaningful to us, or something we followed for a while, or we know it's going to be AAA. But this isn't one of those. Now it could be, depending on how much you enjoy it. That they release sequels, it may turn into that. But yeah, I like you. I will wait for it to go on sale, and then I will pick it up, play it on console, obviously.
Now this I forgot to mention, and I wanted your opinion on this because we were talking about the Xbox Game Pass last week and some of the value there, and I know you and Q were excited to play Warhammer 40K Dark Tide, and then Q came over Friday with just a rant. So what happened there, dude? Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing you guys play this, maybe get some video out of it.
For some reason, it was PC only day one. Even though it's available on console, they didn't release it on console yet. During Q's rant with me, apparently he ran it with both of us. He said it's supposed to be coming soon. But the gameplay he's seen on YouTube, he thinks that we'll actually enjoy it, because there's characters that I obviously enjoy playing a certain style. uh, and so does he. But yeah, so I ended up having to download Mech Warrior Mercenaries 5 because I couldn't play this and I wanted to play something, and he's playing Elden Ring, and he's dealing with some stuff. So I ended up getting back into a BattleTech because I really missed a good mech game. Titanfall was not my jam. I really missed the BattleTech universe. So I ended up downloading that, and I've been playing that this week. But it's one of those things that we were expecting, and we never anticipated. It's going to be on console. It's on Game Pass, but not console Game Pass. And that really just kind of upset him a lot more than me. I'm like, we'll get it eventually. But he wanted to play it day one. But once it does come out, we'll probably stream it. Definitely probably make some videos. I've debated making some videos for Warhammer 40K Martyr, but that game's so old, I don't think it would actually be worthwhile. But I've really enjoyed playing Martyr as the Space Marine. I really enjoy doing that. So it's one of those things that we'll get to it, and we'll talk about it on the show. We'll stream it, and we'll put maybe some YouTube play up or some build videos. But yeah, it sucks. It really does.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I had to just throw that in there. Wanted to know what it, because I know we had talked about it, and you guys had talked about it on the show. So, last up, we have a new trailer. What did you think about the new Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, man?
I was just scrolling through YouTube last night, and I stumbled upon the Guardians 3 trailer, which I wasn't expecting. And I watched it, and similar to Guardians 2, they started off with a joke. And this time, I don't think the joke was nearly as funny as the for the trailer for Guardians 2. But I'll do appreciate and like the way they keep changing up the team, adding members, removing members. But I was excited to see that Zoe Saldana is in the film as Gamora. So I'm expecting the fact that they're going to go try to re-recruit her with using Nebula as the common link. Yeah. Because of the whole time travel, she never was with them. Well, she died in the other universe, so on and so forth.
Which, I mean, also they don't just end up with a new team almost every movie. They also end up with a new ship. And I mean, the new ship, man, it is a huge upgrade from where they started.
And I'm curious because I'm curious what that mechanism is supposed to represent, because it kind of looks like the Milano a little bit, but the wings are significantly different, and that ring in the back. I don't know if that's for speed or some other method of travel, but it looks wild. It really does.
Yeah, it has like a 2-story ship, but
I do kind of miss the old Milano because it was very iconic.
Yeah. But yeah, so they end up landing on an animal home, it looks like, so a lot of I guess costumes available there for people who like to cosplay. But this is the part that sort of bugged me about it, and I mentioned this to you before the show, and it's just the stupidity level that they give Drax. Like he started off, and the whole point of him was he was a very literal person, but he wasn't an idiot. And it seems like they're making him out to be more and more of an idiot each time. And here's this dude who has kids and just nails this kid in the face with this ball.
Yeah, he's playing dodgeball hardcore with the kid, which is wild. But yeah, again, that joke I think fell flat on me. But the whole return from the crowd I thought was appropriate. But it does seem to still have that we are a family type vibe, especially with the Groot sequence, repeating the we are Groot. But if you can find it, whenever Groot and Star Lord are back to back fighting, the fact that he's growing extra arms and he's shooting 4 guns, I thought was absolutely awesome. That really caught my attention. I'm like, why have you done that before?
Well, I mean, it's an interesting progression of Groot, because I mean, we started off with sort of an older, more aged Groot in the first movie, then he ends up having to have to go through the rebirth cycle. So he ends up as kid Groot and teenager Groot, or baby Groot and teenager Groot. And now he's in this young adult, like muscle bound looking, buff Groot stage. And, we saw him in the Christmas special that they did, the Christmas short as Buff Groot. And this trailer actually, I guess, shows you a little more of what that form is capable of, that the thick body isn't just for show. It also has a utility, which is, as it starts unfolding into these multiple arms, and you just sort of see this new badass Groot,
Yeah. And also, I don't know if you picked up on this during the trailer, but apparently they're diving more, I think, into Rocket's backstory a little bit. And it appeared that he found a love interest with, I think, like an otter, which I thought was really kind of cool. Maybe it's another experimental animal.
It is a comic book reference that is from the comics, and it is speculated that the animal world that they land on is his home world, and that this is the whole start of this is them looking for Rocket, maybe Gamora as well. Maybe she's with Rocket, but that's why they've supposedly speculation. No, but that's the speculation, because I mean, apparently this does have to do with the creator of Rocket and this and these experiments. So it's definitely going to dive deep into Rocket's background. That does seem to be a big portion of this particular movie.
And I think that's an interesting story of how he got made, because we've seen throughout the first 2 films the fact that he even gets upset and says that I never asked to be made, and he struggles with I guess adjustment from a laboratory experiment to what he is now. But I would like to see more about that. So it's one of those things that the first Guardians, I'm like, I never read the comics, so I didn't know who they were. I'll be completely transparent and honest. And when I saw the first film, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. And the second one came out, we went to theater and watched that. And oh, wow, this is, really good too. So this one I expect to be on par. I'm not super excited about the director. And we've talked about that in the past. And it's one of those things that I don't want to support his behavior by going to see the film, but it's also entertainment I know I will enjoy. So it is a film that I probably will see at the theater, which I don't go to the theater much anymore. I think the only film I've seen since the pandemic was Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Now, you say the director, who are you speaking of?
James Gunn.
You don't like James Gunn?
We could talk offline about it.
Yeah.
There's some things that he is known for that just makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
guess his work. I've enjoyed all of his work, from his DC work and his Marvel work. Of course, now he's moving over to DC. So
yeah, it's nothing to do with his film work. It has to do with his personal choices.
Now, I mean, his brother was an asshole to me.
I heard.
When we were covering one of the conventions, and we were just wasn't trying to get an interview, wasn't trying to do anything. It was just like, hey, look, we've taken pictures of everybody at the convention. His table was the only table I hadn't gotten a picture of yet. And so I just, instead of being a dick or I guess normal, because I could have just taken the picture, there was no one at his counter. He was standing there, but I don't like, to just take pictures and not inform people that I was taking pictures, Yeah. And so I told him, media, working with the con, here's my media badge. Mind if I grab a quick snapshot? And it's like, who the fuck are you? And I was just like, whoa, dude, like, I told you who I was for one,
Yeah.
And
what's interesting is one of my good friends who used to live in Pensacola, but now she and her husband do travel work, one as a nurse and she's an x-ray tech. She used to get free tickets to that convention, which shall not be named, by basically picking up celebrities at the airport, or picking up staff at the airport and bringing them back. And one of her pickups was Sean Gunn. And he was, cool and nice to her, a completely different experience. But I can only think that, taking pictures without paying me, which is how I make my money. No, back off. Type situation. But if we're covering the con, most people we've talked to have been cool about it.
Well, because I'm not even asking for a picture with them, which a lot of them have asked us, hey, you want to get in the picture, but I don't ask for pictures with them because I do understand you try to get money to take pictures with people, But I could have stood back. I've got a Zoom camera, dude. I could have stood over there and taken a perfectly fine picture of you. And,
So those of you that don't know, we've worked with some of the people that actually host these conventions, and a lot of the celebrities, their money is based off signatures and photographs. That's how they make their cash. Now, some of your higher profile, they get a guaranteed fee, and if they don't make above that, then the convention pays the difference. But a lot of these guys that are like B or C tier actors, or if they're older actors that people like me and Zeno would know, but some of the younger crowd, like, who's that old guy? They don't get that.
Well, and no, so I think everybody gets a guarantee. It's all the conventions I've been in the behind the scenes with, everybody got a guarantee. It's just the level of celebrity changes the level of guarantee that they get. As far as celebrities go, because most of them, they have if they're part of a guild or anything like that, you're sort of required to do a certain level. Now a lot of your authors and stuff like that don't get guarantees. But as far as your actors, almost all of your actors get guarantees.
Yeah. So anyway, that could have been one of his things of you trying to infringe on his compensation type thing, but that doesn't give you a reason to be an asshole.
Yeah.
And I think we're far enough into the video that we're not going to get demonetized for me dropping it.
But yeah. So anyway,
did you want to do a random encounter, or did you want to cut it short?
We'll probably just cut it short. I know you watching the Dolphins game over there. You got your jersey on and everything.
It's 10, so yeah, it's tied up. But the Dolphins did knock out Jimmy Garoppolo, so now their backup, who I've never heard of before, is in. But fins up. Hopefully, we pull this one out, because then we'd be 8-3 and still first place in the AFC East.
Yeah,
but there's been a lot of game that I've missed. So I missed almost the whole first half. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll let Zeno do the closeout, but Vin's up, and hopefully we'll catch you guys next week.
Oh yeah, and like I said, we thought about canceling, but yeah, the next I think we have about 2 more episodes, and we're gonna miss a couple of weeks because I think the 25th is Christmas, and it's gonna be during the show, and then the first is also when we would normally do the show, so we probably won't do a show on Christmas Day and on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
But so we have about 2 more weeks before we take a small break.
Yeah, I might be out of town on New Year's. We've got to go see family for the holidays in Florida and stuff. So Christmas I'll be here, but who wants to do a show on Christmas? That's a family day.
Yeah.
So I think my oldest son will be down, Thunder Max, which we've talked about on the show before. He'll be here, and
he was actually in the chat room that last day you weren't here. He jumped in the chat room.
No, that wasn't.
Oh, that wasn't him.
That was one of my twins.
Oh, okay. I thought that was him. Okay, I was confused.
Actually, funny story. He sent me when I was in Fargo visiting Mrs. Bloodaxe. He sent me Messenger Kids message because we have it kind of tethered down with Messenger Kids, and he had changed his picture to either the Dicejunkies logo. He really, really likes the show. He's always talking to his friends about how his dad's a YouTuber and go check out Dicejunkies and stuff. I mean, he cracks me up with some of his stuff. He changed his logo, and he was telling me that he was talking in the chat.
Yeah, it was Bloodaxe Jr. is what it was listed at.
Well, he for some reason, God loving, he's my little buddy. He has kind of taken more to me versus his twin brothers taking more towards my wife. Mm. And he wants to be just like me. He's interested in things I'm interested in because I'm interested in him. He likes to wear Dolphins gear because I like the Dolphins. And since I've been doing this, he's always asking about how many subscribers we have and when am I going to do another video? And so he's really interested in Dicejunkies.
That's cool.
Good for him. Yeah. Yeah. But no, that was one of my 11-year-old twins.
Okay. All right, well, we'll wrap it up there, man. Thanks for being on the show with me, and thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you can go to Dicejunkies.com where you can find links everywhere we are online: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.